G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to episode 14 of Wasteland Survival. So, in today's episode, we're basically going to take this rover out and, go and hunt for some magnesium so that then we can build ourselves some ammo and then hopefully raid that wreck. So, a couple of things have changed since the last video. So, first of all, I've basically decided to get rid of all the wind turbines that were sticking out on the side of this rover, because I found that even though I had 10 or so wind turbines on it, it was still charging incredibly slow. So instead what I've done is I've just placed a random piston here on the floor that goes up there, and it literally just connects the rover to the base. It doesn't actually transport any ores or anything like that. It's just purely there to charge the rover up. So yeah, I've done that, and if I go into the control panel of one of the batteries inside the rover, we'll just have a look at how fast it is actually charging. So if we go into the control panel, not that one, there we go. So yeah, it should be charged in about 22 minutes. Now the current input is 1.5 megawatts per battery, so I've got a fair bit of output happening on the base at the moment. Whereas I think before it was probably 500 kilowatts, give or take, per battery. So it was going to take, I think it was 3 or 4 hours to charge, and that would have been a full day cycle, and I didn't really want to waste an entire day just kind of charging this thing up. So yeah, I've done that. Now, one thing I kind of want to do, but I'm not sure if I will actually do just yet, is I kind of want to finish off this part here where I've drilled out everything. So let me just bring out my drill here and get rid of all these GPS signals. So yeah, I want to finish this off, but I don't know if I really want to do that right now and waste the remaining daylight that I have. But you know, I still got probably 22 minutes before I actually get this thing charged up. So maybe that will have to be, maybe I'll have to hunt for magnesium at night time. Because what I plan to do is actually use the ore detector on the rover itself, because obviously it's a large grid one and it has a much greater range. So if I just jump into the cockpit here and I find the ore detector and I turn that on, why isn't it displaying anything? Oh yeah, I turned the signals off. Well, there you go, that's why it's not working. Alright, yeah, so as you can see, I can see the iron up there, which is 194 meters away from where I am right now. So yeah, I think that's going to be a lot easier to find magnesium using that. But yeah, so maybe what I can do is I can try and disconnect the rover from the dock and just see how much battery charge we have. So 15 hours. Yeah, I think that might even be enough. You know what? Let's do it. Let's just go out and let's hunt for some ores, and I'll worry about drilling out that last bit a little bit later on. Alright, so I'm going to leave it locked to that connector, and then what I'm going to do is turn these signals back off because they're annoying, and I'm going to grab my little mining ship, which should hopefully be fully charged. So we'll grab this little puppy and we'll turn her back on. And then let's just connect this thing up to the rover. So this is going to be a little bit of a tight squeeze, I think. Whoops. Looks like I bashed one of the... Oh, it's not fully charged. Why is this not fully charged? That is extremely annoying. I thought this was fully charged. Alright, well, maybe I will have to wait then, because I kind of want this thing to be fully charged. So let's find the batteries for this. Yeah, still 2 hours. So I'll set these to recharge. And then I'll find the Nomad batteries, and I will set those to recharge as well, and recharged in 2 minutes. Yeah, that's alright. It'll drain the batteries in the base, but I think that should be a fair bit better than the current status quo. Alright, cool. Well, once these things are charged, then I'll be back. Okay guys, well I'm back and it seems that everything is nicely charged, so you can see here that these batteries are well charged. Obviously I just got to take them off the charging routine and just switch them back to auto. So let's go ahead and let's get this show on the road. Also, one other thing I've done while I've been off camera is I've actually loaded up the Rover with a whole bunch of materials, just in case we get ourselves into any strife and, you know, we kind of break something. So at least I have something in the Rover to kind of, replace broken parts. So now what I think I need to do is basically grind this away. I'll grind these away as well, this piston and this piston head. Turn my lights on because it's getting a bit dark. So hopefully I can actually find myself some magnesium before I run out of power. Oh yeah, it seems that everything is turned off, so let's find our batteries. Let's set all of these to auto. Now the door will open for me. Alright, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Okay, so turn the handbrake off, which it already is. Fantastic. Alright, let's get driving. So I should be able to get out of here, you know, without having the ground being totally flat, so I think that should be okay. Let me turn on my HUD here, or my signals, so I can kind of see things that we find. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the left there towards the main gold mine, just because I think that's probably going to be the best spot. I think the valley kind of continues on there. If we go that way there, then I think I'm not going to be able to go too far, so yeah, we'll just kind of go from here. How's the batteries on that? Yeah, they look like they're fully charged. Alright, so let's keep on going. And we haven't found too much yet. Seems that my suspension is quite low, so I might try and increase the strength of the suspension to try and raise this up a little bit. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. That's about as high as the Rover's going to go. You can see I'm kind of struggling to gain speed here, so that's a little bit annoying. I don't know what's going on there. So let's hope we can get over this without breaking anything. Awesome. Oh, we found some more nickel. No, it's not magnesium though. That's not what I want. I want magnesium. Well, let's continue on in this valley and just hope we kind of come across some. Yeah, there we got some silver. What's over there? I thought I would be close enough to that to figure it out. Hang on. Let me try and slow down here and try and figure out what is in this deposit here to my left. Over there. Maybe it's silver. Because I might actually turn the thrusters on just so I get a bit more power. Oh yeah, it's silver as well. That's why I didn't show up before, because it's literally the same as all the other things that I've seen. What's that up there? More iron. Alright, we're going to continue on this way and we'll just see where we end up. So let's see what we got around the corner. More iron, more silicon. And you see what I mean? Like, magnesium seems to be exceedingly rare on this planet. I found so many deposits of gold and silver, which you would think would be quite rare ores, but evidently not. But yeah, when it comes to magnesium, I've really struggled to find some. More iron, no surprises there. So let's try and get up over this hill without breaking stuff. Goodbye, tree. We don't need you anymore. Alright, let's go over here. Oh yep, more cobalt. But again, I don't need cobalt. Oh look, I think I found another oasis. So that should actually have some ice. That's pretty good. So if I drive up to this, then I would imagine that I would find some ice here. That's some more gold. And ice. Fantastic. Alright, so at least I have found another ice deposit. I found more silver, more gold, more nickel. Alright, let's try going left here and see what we find. Some more iron. I think we've already seen that one, so that's fine. Getting a bit of speed up now, aren't we? Magnesium! You are kidding me. Awesome. Fantastic. Alright, cool. Well, it seems that we have finally found what we've been looking for this whole time. So let me just back the rover up here a bit. I may just place the rover somewhere here, so I can kind of dig my way down. Seems to be really struggling on this planet though, this thing, which is a little bit unfortunate, but you get that. Right, so I may just park the back end towards this magnesium deposit. Get out of my way, tree. Bit of wheel spin there. You can see the sun is setting rather quickly, so am I getting stuck on this tree here? I think I might be. Oh, that's alright. Alright, I think that's a fair distance away from that deposit. So let me put the handbrake on. Alright, now let's head up to the miner and let's do some mining for some magnesium. Oh yep, all my thrusters have been turned off. Okay, so let's just make sure I'm not going to hit anything here. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm going to have to... So is my antenna on this one? Yeah, it is, but... Alright, well, I guess I'll just kind of dig downwards and then until we kind of get to the deposit, and then we'll kind of go from there. So it is a shame that it's not on like the side of a hill. Then I could just kind of dig straight through a wall and then straight to the deposit, but I think I'm going to have to kind of dig downwards like this to get to the deposit. And I'll go as vertical as what I possibly can with this ship, but it isn't the greatest when it comes to going vertical, so... Alright, well there's my magnesium. It seems that I may even need to get a bigger angle happening here. Alright, so maybe what I'll need to do now is go back up horizontally and try and get myself down to that magnesium there. The only problem is I can't see anything of what I'm doing at the moment. Oh, there we go. Now I can kind of see what I'm doing. Hey, we have finally reached the magnesium. Alright, let's start mining some of this stuff. Never in Space Engineers have I been so glad to find magnesium as I am right now. Alright, well I have mined myself a fair bit of magnesium, although it seems right now that I'm a little bit stuck. Yep, now I can get myself out of here. So I think I might just exit the cockpit here and just find out roughly where I am. Oh, yep. So maybe I might be able to just go backwards a little bit and then kind of make a bit more of a tunnel leading straight upwards. That would probably be ideal. So we'll see how we go with this. Alright, so I think I might just try and exit the tunnel like this, and then try and dig a better tunnel when the mining ship isn't absolutely chock-a-block full of ores. So let's fly back to the rover and let's deposit everything that I have in the cargo containers here. Let's try not to crash into anything in the process. So let's see how we go with this. So number 4. And then we'll find our large cargo. So, Nomad large. Now, I just need to make sure as well that the refinery on this rover is actually turned off, because I don't really want it to be refined into ingots just yet. So, let's search for magnesium. Connector. Let's find the control panel. Okay, cool. So that's turned off. Well, that's not so bad. Alright, so now I will unlock the rover, or the mining ship, and I'll just try and create a bit of a better tunnel. So I think what I want to do... So whereabouts is my tunnel here? So I think I need to basically dig it out a bit further this way. Normally don't like creating, you know, massive super pits in the ground like this, but this ore deposit is just so far down that I don't think I'm going to have much of a choice. Alright, so let's see where we're at. Yeah, I still haven't really got a decent trajectory upwards, so I'm probably going to have to feather this out a little bit more. Alright, now we should be able to just go straight down and drop down in there straight away. So, and while I'm here, I might as well mine a fair bit of this stuff, because, you know, it took me ages to find it, so I might as well make it worth my while. So let's try and drill out a little bit more around here. Fantastic. Alright, cool. I think that's going to be enough. Alright, well, I'm going to mine some more of this stuff. Alright, so let me mine some more, and then once that's done, I'll be back. Alright, cool. Well, that is the second load of magnesium done. So now I'm still getting stuck in here, so I might just need to quickly clear myself a little bit more of a path. Let me see if I can get my view to cooperate a little bit with me here. It's really not working out for me, is it? Alright, now I should be able to just go straight upwards and exit this lovely mine. So let's attempt to do this and see how we go. Yeah, it's still not quite straight upwards, but I think we could just make it a little bit better on the way up. Alright, well, finally I've reached the surface, and yeah, look at that massive pit in the ground. I normally don't like doing it that way, but oh well, what do you do? We got what we came for, so I'm happy with that. Ah, this is so sluggish with all these things in it. Alright, well, let's nail this back down to the ground here. Let's lock it down, turn the thrusters off, and let's move everything from the miner to the large cargo. So let's search for magnesium. And let's start transporting everything into that. 154,000, 176,000. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good start. Alright. Well, let's get a move on. So, I would mine some more ores, you know, usually, but I'm super keen to go and check out that wreck, so I think I'm just going to head on back to base straight. Oh, actually, whoa. Before I go anywhere, I totally forgot. I actually need to make a GPS marker for this thing. So, let's go on over here. And let's go to GPS, new from current position. Let's call this magnesium 1. And then I'll just copy the color from here, paste that there. Awesome. So now we know where our magnesium is. Okay, cool. Now that that's done, we can head on back to base. And just turn the handbrake off and let's get moving. So I'm pretty sure I just turn right here and then just follow those valleys back, and that should be pretty good. Should be good to go from there. Sometimes what I like to do is create myself sort of like waypoints, but I don't think I need to do that this time around, just because there's so many valleys around, and I haven't really seen any really bad weather to kind of warrant me having to place them down. So yeah, we'll see how we go. I might slow down a bit here though. I think maybe 60 meters a second is a bit ambitious. So let's just take this slow, just so we don't break anything. Awesome, there we go. And it seems that I have found some and mined it just in the nick of time, because as you can kind of see, we have no more sunlight left. So maybe what I'll do is I'll turn the driving lights on so you can see a little bit more of what we're doing. One thing I want to do as well with this rover is I just want to change these spotlights at the front and put them on some hinges, because they're kind of like, yeah, they don't really light up the ground very well, so that's another thing I kind of want to fix. But yeah, I mean, we'll get there eventually. Oh, slam on the brakes here a bit. So let's try and get up this hill without breaking anything. Awesome. Might just turn off all of these waypoints. And let's go down here. Oof. That was a bit rough, that one. And I'm pretty sure the base is to my right, and it's kind of just after, or it's directly in front of these, this ice deposit in front of me, this like oasis. So the base should be just over there. And there she be. Right. So now I've got to kind of reverse this thing in here, but we'll see how we go. So I may need to actually add a couple of thrusters in the reverse direction, because this thing is a little bit sluggish to reverse, but I guess this will do for now. Alright, so let's try and get this thing straight. Now that's the only problem with this base, is I kind of got to back this thing in every time, so that's going to be a little bit annoying, but I think it should be okay. I should be able to manage it. Try and get this thing as central as possible. How are we going here? Maybe to the right a little bit, or to the left, depending on which way you're looking, I guess. Awesome. Alright, that should do. Put the handbrake on, I'll turn my thrusters off, and yeah, cool. Alright, awesome. So now all I need to do is transfer all of the ores from the rover into the base, and then yeah, kind of go from there. So I'll probably do that off camera, because I'm probably going to have to do a fair few trips by hand, just because of the fact that I don't actually have anything kind of connected. You know, I don't have my connector here that would actually connect to the back of the rover ready to go. So yeah, I'm just going to have to move everything by hand. Alright, so I'll do that and then I'll come back. Alright guys, well, I'm back. So I have gone ahead and I have transported all of the magnesium into the base. I actually moved the rover back a little bit, and what I ended up doing was using the mining ship to transport all of the ore back into the base. Obviously because I don't have the connector at the rear connected, so yeah, that was pretty much the only way I could do it. And it really beats doing it by hand. So now what I need to do is go ahead and manufacture myself a whole bunch of ammunition. So to that end, I will manufacture myself probably about 1,000 of those and about 1,000 of those. And hopefully I have enough magnesium to do that. In fact, what I might do is I might just do maybe 400 of those and about 400 of those. Yeah, that's probably a little bit better. So I should eventually have enough materials for that. So if I just go into my refineries though, you can see that I have a fair amount of magnesium. So in fact, maybe I will have enough for about 1,000. And you can see here that I've actually moved all of my ingots into a separate cargo container as opposed to the components. And many of you may have been wondering why I had so many refineries in the last episode, and this is kind of why. Just because ores like this, they require a long time to kind of refine, so I like to have 8 refineries, a whole bunch of refineries lying around the base, so that, you know, I can work through these ores pretty quickly. And once you start getting your hands on magnesium, platinum, uranium, cobalt, and those sorts of things, then, you know, that's when having a whole bunch of refineries really starts to make a decent effect on, you know, your output. So I think what I'm going to do though is I might actually wait until all this stuff is refined, and I think I'm going to wait until daylight, because yeah, obviously as you can see, it is absolutely and utterly pitch black, so I can't see anything. So I'm not going to be able to raid that wreck until I've actually got some daylight to do so. So I think that's just going to make my life 10 times easier, and then I'm actually going to succeed in doing so. But just before I go, I just want to show you that I manufactured myself a precision automatic rifle, so that should hopefully help the cause a little bit and help me take out that one remaining turret. And yeah, we can kind of go from that point onwards. Anyway guys, I will be back once there is a bit of daylight, and I will see you then. Alright guys, well, it is finally daytime. So there was a couple of things that I did while I was off camera. So as you can see, I've kind of finished off this kind of driveway, I would say. So yeah, I've done that, and now that it's daytime, I think it's time that we go and explore this wreck. Although coincidentally, the second that daylight appears, a storm also appears. And you might notice that I had 2 decoy blocks on either side of the driveway, and they were basically in an attempt to stop myself being struck by lightning. But basically I ended up getting struck by lightning about 3 or 4 times anyway. And one of the other things I did was I added some hinges to the rover here, and then basically I added some spotlights to those hinges. So that should hopefully light up the way or the path in front of the rover a little bit more. And the third thing that I'd done was this thing actually got struck by lightning. So what I've done is I've added some decoy blocks here. I've also changed up the design a tiny little bit, changed up the coloring of these blocks here, and you can see there's actually a block there that's still damaged. And yeah, I've just kind of changed the design on the back end of this thing a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fill up with some hydrogen and oxygen. Alright, cool. So I've filled up with some hydrogen, so we have plenty of fuel left in our jetpack. And actually, what I need to do is go and get some ammunition as well. So let me just do that quickly too. Alright, cool. Well, that should be more than enough ammunition. 2,433 bullets. I think that should be enough. And if it isn't, then we're doing something wrong. So let's head on over to this wreck and see what we can do this time. So you might notice that I've actually got myself a precision rifle. I'm not sure if I mentioned that the last time, but yeah, I think that's going to help us out a little bit. Oof. Crikey. Looks like I just got nailed a bit there. So let's see. Where is this thing? Oh yeah. Let's see if I can't destroy this thing. Well, I'm destroying something. Hopefully it's what I want to destroy. Still, I can't believe how resilient this turret is. It's unbelievable. Still, are you kidding me? That's unbelievable. Starting to wish I had just gotten the automatic rifle just so I could do this a little bit faster. So we've gone through about 33 bullets so far, and I really thought this thing would be dead by now. Something's blown up. I don't think it was the turret though, unfortunately. You are kidding me. Really? How is that even possible? Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh, that is just... I'm lost for words, guys. I really am. I do not know how that turret has managed to survive that many shots. Alright, well, let's grab a hydrogen tank because no doubt I'll run out of fuel on my way back to where my body is. And we will attempt to get to where my body was without getting shot again. So let's see how this goes. Alright, well, I'm pretty close to where my body is. Now let's just hope that I don't get shot in the process, which I think I may do. Alright, this is pretty sketchy. Alright, let's hang back a little bit here and see if we can't get a bit of a better angle on this thing. So where is this? continue firing. Have I finally taken it out? No, of course not. Jeepers. I think I might go back up here. I was actually having some success, you know, kind of shooting things from up here. I can't see that turret though. Oh, I think that's on fire. It's down. Yes! Yes! Right, now let's hope there are no more turrets around. Alright, let's have a bit of a squiz here. My goodness, that was... yeah, I don't even know what to say. That was insane. Insane. Alright, so... oh, looks like we have a few reactors here. Very nice. Very nice. Right, I'm going to grind this battery away so that it doesn't take away the charge from these batteries here. Or from the reactors. And let's just see how much uranium I have in here. Well, probably none. So I need to hack them first. Oh, that's not too bad. Right, so let's see how much other uranium I have. I can't access those. Let's grind these down. Weld them back up, hack them. Well, that's a bit interesting. Alright, now it's mine. Thank you very much.
Inventory full.
Alright, what I might do is just grind this one down. And then weld this one up with the components from that one. Fantastic. And then I'll do the same with this one.
Inventory full.
Oh, it seems like this one's damaged. Alright, well, let's do the same thing again. Seems like I need some motors.
Inventory full.
Okay, let's dump that, dump that, dump that, dump that. Alright, let's try this again.
Inventory
Grind those
full.
motors down. There we go. And how much uranium? Well, that's not bad actually. So I have gained myself 1.13k uranium. Very nice. Okay, so yeah, I wonder what type of ship this was. I think this was a super gremlin. It's pretty interesting though, because a super gremlin is quite a large ship, so this thing really must have taken a beating on its way down. So yeah, alright, cool. Well, let's head on back to base and let's make good use of this uranium. At present, I think I only have 2 reactors, and both of those reactors are sitting inside the Nomad rover. But yeah, so mission accomplished, finally. Alright, well, we're back at base now, so now what I want to do is go ahead and place all this uranium that we found into my large cargo container. And what I think I will do is I will turn all the reactors off, just because I think that... so we've got small reactor. Okay, so turn those off and turn those off. So I think I'll just turn all these off, just because I think I don't really want to use the uranium just yet. I kind of want to save it for later on, so yeah, we'll just place it into the cargo container for now, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Alright, cool. Now that that's safely stowed away, we can move on to some other things. So I think maybe what I'll start doing now is actually start building a ship that I can use to get me to space, because I kind of want to get rid of this welding wall out of the garage here so that I can park the Rover in properly and actually dock it up to this whole little contraption that I created here. But yeah, I kind of, as I said before, I wanted to keep this welding wall around whilst I do that. So maybe what I'll do is, yeah, we'll actually start doing that. So let me just move this miner out of the way. So we'll unlock this, and I may even just park this on top of the Rover itself, and then, you know, we can kind of take this Rover out of the garage. Let me just dock this thing down, and I'll lock that down. And I've got to turn the thrusters off because it's trying to literally lift up the entire thing. Alright, now I can kind of drive it out, the Rover that is, and then we can start playing around with the projector and seeing how we can kind of build this spaceship. Alright, so let's... Oh yeah, that's right. I've actually got it locked to a connector. Let me just exit out of here and I'll just disconnect this connector. It's hooked up to the base. Alright, so where is it? Yeah, there it is. So I'll actually grind this away because I really don't want to kind of hit anything here. So I'll just, yeah, just grind it. Alright, cool. That's done. Alright, now let's try and drive this thing out. Now I'm hoping that this world wall is actually big enough to build this blueprint. But yeah, I guess I'll just have to see if it is. Alright, so let's drive this thing out. I really need to get rid of this projection here, but I think it should be alright for now. Alright, cool. I think that should be far enough out. Alright. So, let's head on outside and let's start messing around with this thing. So if I enter the control panel here, go to blueprints, and I'm going to build the Pilgrim. So you guys can get this off the workshop, and I'll put a link in the description of the video so that you guys can check this out yourself. But yeah, so let's double click on that, and then that should start to be displayed. And it looks like it's in the middle of the floor there, which is not very helpful. Alright, let's go into the remote access here and let's play around with this a little bit. I may even do some of this off camera because I guess it is kind of annoying. So let's see what we can do here. Well, it looks like the forward offset is set to something a little bit silly. Actually, which way do I want to print it? I'll probably print it that way. And then I'll set the forward offset to like maybe -10, and then it should end up in the garage there. Oh yeah, cool. Well, that looks pretty good. That's like right smack bang in the center. That's not too bad. And it actually fits in the garage too. Actually, it doesn't even look like it's too much wider than the Nomad. Oh, that actually works out pretty good. So, alright then. I think what I'll do is I'll raise it up, probably by a few blocks. Okay, well I've raised it up probably 2 blocks. So let's just see how we're looking now. So the roof, that looks like it would be fine. It would actually get welded up. I may actually try and reverse all of these pistons and see how I go with that. So let me just play around with these pistons for a little while and we'll see how we go with that. So it looks like I may have to extend the printer out on either side a little bit. But in terms of height, I think we're looking okay. And maybe I need to go up with my blueprint a little bit more. Alright, well that's raised up 1 more. So, how are we looking? Yeah, I think the height is pretty good. But I think the width is going to be the main issue here. And maybe I might not have enough clearance here to build the landing gears. Alright, cool. Well, I think it's pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify this printer a little bit just so that I can get out to these sides here. And then I'll obviously do the same for the other side. And the height seems like it's not going to be a problem. And then I just need to basically place some welders here. Or in fact, what I think I could do is just raise the blueprint up just by one more block, and then I think that will probably work out a little bit better. So I'll change this to -8, and even though that's a block above, I think I'll only really need to put in like 2 or 3 welders there, whereas down here I'd have to place a fair bit more. So obviously it's just that landing gear, but I think because the landing gear is 2 blocks tall, I think that'll work out quite nicely. So yeah, all I need to really do now is just add 3 welders there, and then 3 welders there. Alright, so I'll go and do that off camera, and then once that's done I'll be back. Okay guys, well, as you can see, I have kind of laid out the foundations for this thing, and I've basically, yeah, I've modified the welder, so now it should be able to weld this thing up. So now I've basically got to actually move the welder out. Now this particular blueprint is I think it's 29 blocks long, which works out to be about 72.5 meters. So I don't need to extend all of these pistons. So what I'm going to do is just jump into the console here, and then I'll find my pistons, and I'll probably extend these 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the minimum distance to 10 again, and then I'm going to reverse them, and that's going to cause the pistons to come all the way out. And then from there, obviously I just need to rinse and repeat the same process that I used to actually build the Nomad Rover. So yeah, we'll kind of go from that point. So once these pistons have fully extended, then we'll kind of go from there. Alright, well, everything has fully extended now. So now what I'm going to do is just reduce the distance of the 8th piston by about 7.5 meters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I need to do though before that is actually go into the pistons again, and I need to reverse them. So let's just make sure that this is going in the negative direction. Actually, these are all going... Okay, so I'll ignore piston number 9, and I'll just hit reverse on this. And what that'll do is it'll cause all the pistons to go that way. But again, because I've set the minimum distance to 10 meters, none of the other pistons will actually retract. So this should hopefully get right to the edge of the blueprint, and then from there we can kind of print it. So yeah, that's looking pretty good, and I think that is right where I want to be. So now of course what I want to do is kind of build my foundation. So yeah, from there then I can start welding up this blueprint. Now I don't know if this is going to be close enough to the weld wall to actually weld it up. So let's just see what happens when I turn the welders on. Awesome. So, right, it was not enough to do the foundation, but I guess it's enough to actually do the ship itself. So I guess that's kind of good enough, isn't it? Alright, so let's begin printing this thing as well. So we'll just retract it by 1, and we'll kind of see how we go from that point. Now, I think I might need to just double check that I have enough materials in my inventory. So let's just double check this. I only have 6,000 steel plates, which is definitely not going to be enough. Probably need at least another 15,000. 100,000 iron ingots. Well, I think guys we might need to go and do some mining. I'll definitely need some more metal grids because you know, obviously all of these hydrogen engines use metal grids. I'll need a fair few more batteries because this ship uses a few batteries as well. Probably need some more interior plates and some more construction components. Actually, I think I'll need, let's just say 5,000 of those and 5,000 of those. I'll definitely need some large steel tubes. How many CPUs I've got, displays, I think that will be enough. Bulletproof glass, I may just do another 1,000. I don't think I need any gold. I'll need a few more medical components because this thing does have a med bay. But I think, oh yep, and some small steel tubes. So let's just do 5,000 of those for good measure. I think that should be enough to get us started. But while that's all being built, then I think we can go and do a mining trip. So let's jump into our welder here. Let's unlock this, turn the thrusters on, and let's go and do some mining. I'm pretty sure there's no blueprints in the way. So let me just turn my waypoints back on here. Whoa, wrong button. Alright, so turn my front thrusters off and then we'll kind of just go from here. Alright, well, we're pretty close to the iron mine. But the only problem is that I'm going to have to really be careful here because I can't see a darn thing. And it will be very easy to crash into the mountain here. Honestly, this probably isn't the ideal conditions to do a bit of mining, but kind of have no choice at the moment. I'm kind of hoping that my lights will reveal a path for me before I actually get anywhere near it, but I mean, let's see how we go. Have I got, oh, that's right, I don't even have the lights on. No wonder I can't see anything. Hey, awesome, we got there without crashing into anything. That's not bad. Even though I'm right next to it, I still can't see anything. Alright, well let's mine some of this stuff. Alright, well I think that should be enough. You can see that the miner is at 181,000 kilos when usually it probably sits around about 175,000. And that's because of the decoy blocks that I've added to the top, so it's gonna probably be a little bit more sluggish than usual, and I may even get rid of probably 2 of those decoy blocks just to kind of further help the situation. But yeah, let's head on back to base. I think I should have enough iron to kind of build all of the steel plates that I want to, or that I have in production at the moment. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of go from there. The only thing is though, that when we get back, I'm gonna have to move the Rover forward just a little bit because I'm pretty sure the rear end of the Rover is sitting right over the docking connector on the bottom of the garage floor. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of go from there. Alright, so let's slowly, ever so slowly, get this thing into position. And let's see if we can't dock it up with the Rover just being where it is. Oh, I might be able to get away with this actually. Let's see how we go. She's a bit sluggish, I'll tell ya. Ready to lock. Oh, look at that. Precision flying. Awesome. Haha. Yeah, not really precision, eh? Oh well, close enough. Alright, so now let's go into the production menu and see how we're doing. Actually, I'll actually jump into the seat and just see how we're going with production. So let's have a look at our refineries actually and see how they're doing. So that should get through that iron relatively quickly, and then yeah, we can kind of go from there. Well, I think I'm just going to skip ahead until all these resources are actually built, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Hey guys, a little bit of a slight detour here. So I'm back at the wreck that, you know, of the super gremlin that we took down before, and I was just having a look around, and check this out. So we have an elite welder, we've got another elite welder, we've got some NATO magazines. This is like a literal gold mine. Yeah, there's another elite grinder, another elite hand drill, and as you can see in my inventory, I've already picked up an elite grinder. So I think I'm going to pick up as much stuff as what I can. So I'm going to get rid of these things because I don't really need them. So I'll drop those. I'll get rid of that. And I'll get rid of the large steel tubes because, I mean, who wants them? You know, especially when there's all this awesome stuff lying around. So this is fantastic. I got to admit, I do feel somewhat guilty about raiding this wreck because normally it would be a lot harder to gain materials like this, you know, without having to raid things like this. But, you know, at the same time, I did kind of work pretty hard to take this thing down. So I guess, yeah, we can get some kind of benefit out of it. So I think I'm going to raid a few more things. So you can see here I've got like 489 steel grids, another 450. So maybe what I'll do actually is, yeah, I might put the build for the spaceship on hold, and I might actually go back, grab the rover, drive the rover over here and fit some grinders to the front of the weld ship that I made, and then yeah, basically just pillage this wreck a little bit. So let me just deposit all of this stuff into a safe space, and then yeah, we'll kind of go from there. Right, well, I've placed everything into the cargo container, so now I think what I'll do is I'll go up into the hangar, and then we'll kind of, whoa, that was a little bit fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these welders here on this ship, and I'm going to replace these with grinders. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll place them there like that, another one there. Alright, cool. So that's everything welded up. Now let's turn this thing back on. I'll unlock the landing gear, and we'll just kind of go down, and I'm probably not going to use any connectors on this ship. I'm probably just going to lock it to the rover using a landing gear, and then yeah, we'll kind of just go from there. So I believe that auto lock is turned on for that landing gear. Oh no, it's not. Alright, cool. So now I just need to turn off all the thrusters. Awesome. And now it's not going to try and actually lift off the ship. But first, actually what I need to do is take that off, find my grinders, block tools, grinders, and then awesome, that should be all good. Alright, well, let's take the rover out and let's drive it down to the wreck, and let's try and pillage a fair bit of materials from there. There's a fair bit of ammo there as well, so you know, I do find it a little bit ironic that all of the magnesium that I could have not had to have mined, if I could have just gotten the ammunition from that, you know. But it's a bit of a catch-22. Like I needed the magnesium to build myself some ammo to actually take the thing down in the first place. So yeah, oh well, you get that. All right, we're coming up on the wreck now, and I wasn't sure if the rover was actually going to fit up here, but yeah, it seems to fit here pretty well. It looks like there's even more material sitting on the ground there. Alright, let's park this thing up. Let's turn the park brake on. Alright, let me exit out of the top here, I think. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. Just want to kind of check out what was on the ground here. Huh. Some missiles. You're kidding me. That's awesome. And this place is like a literal gold mine. Like I said though, I do kind of feel a little bit guilty because maybe this is making the game a little bit too easy, but at the same time, it's yeah, it's not bad. Alright, well I finally picked up all those missiles, so what's this? Oh yeah, it's just a bit of scrap metal. Let's see what else we have down here. I believe I had some more ammo containers somewhere around here. Yeah, there they are. Alright, so I think now it's kind of time to break out the mining ship. Whoa! Okay. I probably should have turned the guns off first, right? Whoops. What's that? Is that... what is that? Looks like a body of some kind. Oh, it's canvas. Yeah, right. Oh, awesome. It looks like the gravity generator didn't get hit, so I think I should be able to retrieve some materials from that. Alright, let's bust out the grinding ship and let's get a grinding. So first I'll turn the thrusters on, unlock the landing gear, and then we'll kind of go from there. I think first what I'll do is I'll just park this thing up, and then I'll just gather all the spare materials I can find, and just put them into the grinding ship ready to go. So let's just do that quickly. Alright, well, I think that's all the loose materials that were sitting on the ground now picked up and deposited into this welding ship. Now, I've had to make a few trips back to the Rover to kind of, you know, drop everything off, but yeah, I mean, so far I've collected a little bit, but not heaps. I think the most valuable things, I reckon, were probably, you know, the welders and the grinders and the drills and all that sort of stuff. The rest of it, it's not really that useful. I mean, I guess it is, but it's probably even, you know, just a little bit easier just to mine for stuff than it is to actually, you know, yeah, just grind all this stuff from this ship itself, you know. So yeah, I don't know, but it does kind of save me a little bit of mining, I guess. But yeah, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. But yeah, I mean, I guess the most valuable parts is obviously, you know, the grinders, and then these 200mm missile containers and all that sort of stuff. But still, I think I've done quite alright from this wreck. I think it's been pretty productive, and yeah, you can see I do actually have a fair bit of materials from this thing. So alright, well, I think, alright, so let's just make sure that the ship itself is empty. So I'm going to move everything across to here and make sure that the ship itself is empty, which it is. Alright, cool. So we'll unlock this thing. So now I think I'll start grinding this thing down, but I'm probably going to do most of this off camera because, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory what I'm doing here. So I'm sure you guys don't want to see me just grinding down this entire thing, because I mean that would get quite boring, and it'd get boring pretty fast. So alright, well, let me grind all this down, and then once I am finished I'll be back. Alright, well, that is absolutely everything ground down, and as you can see, all we have is just a bit of a pit of where that ship used to be. So I'm not going to bother docking this thing up. I'll just kind of land it back down on the deck, and yeah, we'll just head back to base like this. So let me just get this thing close enough to the ground, and then we'll see if we can lock it down. Get the landing gear ready to lock. Awesome. And then I'll turn the thrusters off again so that it's not trying to lift up the entire rover. And I'll just give you guys a quick peek at what we managed to salvage from this wreck. So it seems that there was a few silicon wafers hiding in the miner, so yeah, there is that as well. But yeah, I mean, yeah, what we've got, 422 large steel tubes, probably like 3,500 steel plates, about 3,500 construction components, a whole bunch of detector components, some reactor components. Yeah, basically all the stuff that you see here, and a couple of superconductors which are pretty hard to build and require a fair bit of gold, and then 15.5k scrap metal, which will hopefully refine out to something somewhat useful. So yeah, I think we did pretty well on that wreck, but obviously the main things is the ammunition, the missiles, and then basically the uranium, and then obviously the tools as well. So anyway, I think we'll head off back to base, and then we'll continue on building this ship, and yeah, we'll kind of go from that point onwards. So I probably won't bore you guys with driving this thing all the way back to base. I guess it's pretty self-explanatory what we're going to do there, so yeah, we'll kind of just go from there. And yeah, I'll see you guys back at base. Alright, well, we're back at base, so we'll park this thing up and then we'll kind of continue on where we left off. So let's see where we're at. Now obviously I'm going to have to connect this rover up to the base at some point to retrieve all the materials that I just kind of pillaged from that wreck, but at this point I don't think it's really important to do that, and by now we should have everything manufactured. So I think for this build I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to try to do a time lapse for the first time ever, so I'll cut to the time lapse now, and then hopefully this all works out. Alright, well, I think that turned out pretty well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the time lapse. So it seems that this thing is mostly complete. So if I go into the remote access and we have a look at our projector, so garage ground, you can see that I just have one corner double light, about 3 armor blocks, and then 2 gravity generators. So I'm not exactly sure where those are, but I'm sure I'll be able to find them and sort them out. But I may just do them in between this episode and the next, and yeah, we'll just kind of complete that stuff off camera. Another thing I need to do is kind of build some kind of pillars just to support this thing off the ground, because at the moment this is this right here is the only thing that's stopping this thing from falling into a heap on the ground and getting half blown up. So yeah, there is that. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Wasteland Survival, and if you like this content then consider leaving us a like, and don't forget to subscribe for the next episode, and I hope to see you in episode 15. Thanks.